do. I mean,
Well, it's not. I'm a stupid woman. So could you explain to me what you do for as a living for your job?
okay, I'll come back to you, Ovary. Let's go to her.
Oh Lord.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right. So I have a couple of things. First off, throughout history, we've noticed that Western society was a lot more less developed whenever women did not have rights compared to now that women do have rights. They are.
Bro, what? What? But sweetheart, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you telling me women's rights was the turn of the century? That's what we just gonna. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and downplay women, but let's be honest here. Let's be very honest. We just still made it. We just still made it to the moon, even if women, didn't have rights. Let's be quite honest. And then even if we just discovered y'all intellectual capacity, we just still, we just still just use y'all for that. And let's be honest, women, bro, they're pretty damn good at math too. I'll be honest with you. Like, what was it? I think it was a bunch of black women in the basement that did the coordinates for NASA. And that's actually a true story. I had to go look that shit up. I'm like, God damn, a bunch of women in the basement doing math, landing rockets. So we do give y'all that, but don't ever pretend like we couldn't just did it on our own now.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right. So I have a couple of things. First off, throughout history, we've noticed that Western society was a lot more less developed whenever women did not have rights compared to now that women do have rights. They are inventing things such as Ada Lovelace and coding and computers. And so,
Mm-hmm.
how would you think life would be if we never got those rights and those things were never invented?
I mean, sweetheart. Now, guys, kid, when did women get rights? I don't want to say. I think I no. Let me make sure.
We'd
Let
be
me
a better
make sure.
society, probably.
And
Yeah.
why is that?
Because
Well, we would have more nuclear families. We wouldn't have feminists. We wouldn't have strange progressive women that color their hair.
yeah, like 18,
We
20.
would just basically be better off as a society,
So you would
because
be
the
better with no
reality,
income,
I find it interesting
considering.
that like women will name like one or two inventions that they've made, but
Yeah, she's talking about Ada Lovelace, right? And I remember hearing, I remember learning about Ada Lovelace back when I was learning, well, about coding myself. And yeah, Ada Lovelace developed that whole coding, or was the first developed the first little codings, I guess, paper or script or whatever. And in the 18, like what, 1700s, like 1830s, 1840s, around that area. So, and Ada Lovelace was a very rich woman. Actually, she was married to an earl. So Ada Lovelace had privileges that most women did not have because she was married to a man who was of high status. Yeah, you can actually look it up. She was married to a whole earl and of France. So it's kind of difficult to use Ada Lovelace when that is a very that's like 1% of the 1% of women back in that time who even had the opportunity to do that.
almost everything that we enjoy in modernity was made by men. Men are like 90% plus of the inventors. If we had to rely on female
Yeah.
ingenuity, we'd probably still be rubbing sticks together.
Okay. So a second one for you. What about majority of education professionals being women? So we are not only cultivating the young minds, but we are also fostering care and kindness in them.
Well, that's precisely why college is a joke now.
But yeah, though, yeah, it was on August 18th, 1920. Yeah, that's when women's got rights. But Ada Lovelace, bro, Ada Lovelace is like, bro, early 1800s, like literally, like got married to her husband in like 38. So, bro, trust me, the only reason why she was even able to invent coding is because, well, she lived as a very rich woman.
as someone who graduated from college myself from a good school,
And rich
um,
women were usually the few in that time that were educated.
the education system and academia in general has just become, a libtard fest where people
And
are.
that's not me shitting on women. That's just me letting y'all pretty much proving that, yo, we give you the fair grounds and you guys can excel just as much as a man. And we'll give you guys that. We won't say that y'all better than us. No, no, no. We will never give y'all that. But we will say that you guys can rise to the occasion if given the right, I would say it's given an even playing field. Because it is wild how back in the day you did have to be a rich woman to actually get an education.
Are operating not on reality and thinking that there's 99 genders and this woke ideology, and it's kind of like the battlegrounds for that. So The universities have morphed from a place where you can get a higher education, become more intelligent, and get a job into the real world versus, just pushing a political agenda. And this is why women are starting to dominate men in college attendance, because men are kind of catching on that college is a scam in most cases.
Just to clarify, I wasn't speaking
Mm.
specifically of college educators. I meant more of your public school system educators, so your K through 12 and things like that.
Sure. So what's your particular question?
Majority of those people that work in those education fields
You just
are
made
women.
most
So
men
we are the ones
irrelevant.
that spend majority of the time with the children. And we are the ones cultivating their minds, making sure they're educated and they're kind people. So how do you think that would be if
I mean, sweetheart, if you're telling me you are educating kids to be kind people and you cannot be that yourself, what are you talking about? I mean, if you're gonna educate, I mean, I would hate for it, bro. If I was to walk my daughter into a class and I seen that her teacher looked like this, yeah, I'm unenrolling. I'm gonna be like, yeah, can I get a different teacher? Can I get like a heterosexual teacher? I don't know. Like, can I get like a Christian, like white or black lady, like preferably in her like mid-30s, please? Like, please and thank you. Do you have one of that in the teacher order sheet? Because I ain't doing this. I'm not doing this.
we didn't have rights to teach?
Well, again, you guys are able to do that because men have stabilized and civilized the world for you to be able to do that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But that's not like
I mean, no, baby girl. Let's be real. For y'all to get here, we had to build society. Shoot, then we had to give y'all rights, and then y'all done did y'all thing. Okay, there was steps to this. You just didn't hop out the woodwork just getting things done, baby girl. Y'all had to wait for us to, lay the foundation for y'all. And that's usually what men do. We lay the foundation, y'all make things better. I know we buy the house and y'all put in the furniture, or y'all design the furniture layout and all that good stuff, as women do. I mean, shout out to y'all.
okay. So if we were to obey a man, then theoretically
Within a relationship,
within a
I'm
relationship,
speaking specifically like if you're in a relationship together, it's the woman's job to obey her man.
why? Why not the other way around? Who says what? You?
Well, because women can't lead anything. The only thing they can lead is to the end of the relationship. Simply doesn't work when women are in the power position in a relationship because women don't respect weak men that lead them,
Yeah.
that they're leading.
Okay, no, a woman's not going to respect a weak man, but if they're both equals, then there will be mutual respect between both of them. And
But
that
that's the
is when it
problem.
should
Men and women are
thrive.
not equal.
How? We're the ones that give you life. Why is there no respect for that?
I
Well,
mean,
actually, technically,
I mean, not to sound like a brute, but I mean, it's not like we can't make y'all do it. I know it sounds effed up, and I would hope this would never come around, but I always did say if the birth rate got too low, if it got too low and men had to choose between women's rights and the existence of humankind, yeah, I'm sorry, women, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think y'all got women's rights until things get a little shaky. No, I'm just saying. I know it sounds crazy, but guys, hear me out on this one. Let's be real. In the crazy scenario that the birth rate gets a little too low, I mean, we're gonna have to make some tough choices, ladies. I don't know. Maybe y'all should focus on that birth rate more than we do, because that whole handsmaiden tale that everybody was fear mongering about. I mean, shoot, if we start dwindling in numbers like crazy, I mean, wait. We're looking at two things: women right, or or the continuation of the human race. Which one's more important, guys? I'm just asking. I'm not answering that question though.
we put our semen into you, and that's what creates life, not you guys. You guys just incubate.
Actually, semen can be performed and created in a lab, so we don't even need you anymore. Thank you.
Wrong, wrong. They are able to create semen in animals and do that. So no, you cannot just create us in a lab, and we can't just create you guys in a lab. I know we've tried. I know, yeah, we've tried to make women in the lab with the whole womb, but it failed. It failed. I know. I know you women haters. I know you're really upset, but thank God. And women, no, 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 no. You cannot replace us. Sorry, but they have not found the way to replace the male sperm so you guys can have kids. Nope. Still need us, and we still need you. I know, right? It's a very crazy relationship, but we in it for the long run.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Look at that. They could be in a lab.
Hi.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. You might have to move the mic down for her, guys.
No, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's all the way down. Damn. The struggles of being 5 foot nothing. Anyway,
What?
what's your name?
Myron, nice to meet you.
Byron? Okay, cool.
Myron, yeah.
What is? Sorry.
Myron.
Myron.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
What's your name?
Ozzy.
Okay. How are you,
Sorry.
Ozzy?
I have no clue who you are. So this
No
is very
problem.
interesting. So I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
I noticed that you keep up bringing up the nuclear family,
Yeah.
right? And like you put that on a pillar, and that like
No.
you value it highly.
No, Michelle, you missed the point. No. I'm not saying do away with y'all. I'm not saying do away with y'all. I'm saying what's like, okay, it's gonna sound grimy what I'm about to say. Like I said, I'm talking about if it came down, the birth rate got too low, we was getting too low in numbers, and it came down to women's rights or the continuation of the human race. Yeah, that is where things get a little shaky and where you guys might start seeing more of a Handmaid's Tale reality. If you ever even watched the Handmaid's Tale, is where a bunch of women were enslaved to pretty much have babies for the wealthiest of men. I mean, literally like a baby farm. It was wild. But you know, that in that reality, that was crazy. I think the reality of that story or the storyline in there as well was the birth rate was too low. Yeah, you know what, women, y'all might want to start watching that birth rate. Your rights might depend on it. I'm just playing, but or am I?
That as well as like the patriarchy, and you talk about how this is like a good thing and it, benefits you and I guess women as well. And so on the patriarchy, I specifically wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the like negative implications and just like actual effects of it, both on men and well, just mostly men?
Exactly.
The patriarchy?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, are you talking from the sense of like from a modernity sense of today, or are you talking about like before with
No, literally today.
literally
So,
today?
yeah, and well, I guess we could also visit like you talk about how like the nuclear family and when that was at the height was like I think was it before World War? It was like before and like during like the World Wars, like that kind of 1950s era.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So, what's your? I'm just trying to understand your question specifically.
Yeah, so you talk about valuing the nuclear family, and I'm trying to ask you why. So like if you
Why?
could like
Okay. Yeah.
very
So the
clearly
reason
just
why is
explain
because
that.
children are the future, and in order to raise children properly, you need a mom and a dad, right? You need that balance. So, and that can only really be done in a nuclear family. This is why I'm not a fan of gays adopting or lesbians adopting. I think, the child needs to have a strong father and a mother in the household, for the best chance at being a productive member of society.
I'm telling you, I stand on the same opinion. I'm not saying that we should just ban them from it, but I am uncomfortable with it. I will state my uncomfortability with it.
That's why the nuclear family is so important, because our future is built on that, which are the children.
Okay. You gotta stop with the bazinga. And then going to then the patriarchy.
The patriarchy, okay?
Yeah.
What about it?
So you're talking about how like you value it and you find it good that men are then forced to go out and do these things. So you're talking about kind of like the men's rights issues, right?
Yes, I think men, there's a burden of performance on us, and I think that that's something to embrace and rise to versus trying to be equal to women.
Okay, so you believe that men should not have a choice.
As far as in what regard? Working?
Not just working, but just style of life and like so taking away that choice from men and just generally from people of like their direction in life.
I think every guy should be prioritizing, whether they're building themselves up to eventually have a family, right? I understand that, for men, it takes time for us to acquire our value versus women kind of have the value up front. But I do think that every guy should be striving to become successful so that eventually a family will be dependent upon him.
Okay. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I don't think women should be working. I think they should be prioritizing motherhood, not
Okay.
jobs.
So then why? So taking our
Or at least if you get pregnant and try to sit down for them 9 months, well, I don't know, maybe like a year, like and a half. Like, come on now. Like if you want to work and you love your job and all that, you love the people, I get it. But you gotta at least sit down for like a good 9 months to a year and a half.
Society and the amount of people that it takes to run a
I
fully
think I gotta stay
functioning,
bedridden
well
anyway.
endowed society that takes people of all kinds of creed, right?
Sure.
So when you take away that matter of choice from both men and women and everyone in between, why do you then believe that that will be a better society?
Well, the thing is this, right? So you're mentioning this thing about choice, and I think that's an illusion, right? And we need to be honest here when it comes to women pursuing education and a career. What we tell them is, hey, look, go get a job, make money, enter the workforce, and then you can have a family at the end of that. And what ends up happening a lot of times is women follow this route, get an education, get money, get a job, get a good career, and then when they try to find a guy at the end of that, it becomes significantly harder because what's ended up happening is
I mean, that is true. I mean, look, like it's the sad reality of the world, but yeah, a guy coming out as a surgeon at I don't know 35, yeah, bro ain't lose no option. Actually, bro done gained options. Yes, the man done gained more female options. But a woman coming out, let's say medical school surgeon, making great money, at 35 has lost options. I know you're gonna like, damn, said that's unfair. How come bro gets money, he gain options, the old girl get money and she lose options? Well, off the age alone, just off age. I mean, we like you younger. We like them young and not that young. Don't hit me with that Epstein bullshit. I mean, depending on your at 35, I've seen 35s at least knock up. I've seen that 35 do 25, 25, 23, really. But yeah, I've seen that.
the woman has risen up in status, risen up in her income, and her standards are higher. So a lot of guys aren't going to qualify. And I think if we were honest with women and told them, look, if you pursue a career, there's a very good chance that you might not get your first choice. I think that's a good starting point. Obviously, we can't just like say, take all the jobs and that's it. But I think we need to start being more honest with women and letting them understand that you got to pick one. You can't really have it all. And this is something that we've been lying to women about for decades, that they can have it all. And then they end up at 31 years old, unmarried, no kids, wondering why guys don't take them seriously. But it's because they didn't know the truth about this stuff.
So then how do you feel about like the same thing but then happening towards men? Like
In what regard?
you like take you for example. You say that you have like I think you mentioned you have an open relationship, but specifically on your end.
Only on my end.
Mhm.
So you take the nuclear family, which is a loyal and faithful husband.
Only women could be sluts. We are the slut makers.
Yep.
Girls over here try to call me a slut.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, and I know the girls ain't gonna agree with me on this one, but it is female cope when you sit there and try to call a man a hoe, a whore, just because he's out there doing his thing. He out there slanging the dangalang, and he earned every right to do that. And I know what y'all thinking, like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, usually a guy can only do that. I mean, bro, a guy could only do that when he's actually getting out there and like making money, or he's in good shape, he takes care of himself. To slay like that, you got to be doing something as a guy. But as a woman, I mean, you could be failing in every area in your life, financially and all that good stuff. As long as you look decent, you can still go out there and get sexual access to men. You can still go out there and get a whole man to take care of you. But that is not how it works for guys, and I think we both know that. So yes, that is why we are the hoe makers, because well, you kind of gotta, for a guy, you gotta work to be a hoe. For a woman, I mean, you ain't gotta do too much. You just gotta go out there and be promiscuous, and that's it. Just go out there and talk and open your legs. You're done. A guy, you gotta at least get in shape, at least learn how to talk, and then boom, you gotta go get some money, some resources, and there you go. There you go. And then you can go out there and frolic among the women. I would suggest that, but y'all get my point.
We're the slut makers, man. There's no such thing as a man that's a slut.
May I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So you're talking about how you have an open relationship. So you have the nuclear family.
Yep.
The stereotypical nuclear family is a loyal working husband who goes
Sure.
to the office or whatever, makes money, comes home to his wife, provides for his wife, takes care of his wife. You you value highly the nuclear family, but you yourself are not taking a part of it. Why is that?
Well, I have a certain goal that I want to hit financially before I, go ahead and have a family. I've obviously some business aspirations, and I want to make sure I get that out of the way so that when it is time to be a father, I can focus 100% on that and not necessarily be as tied up with work. So and that's kind of one of you know, the good things about being a man is that though we are not born with value, if we work hard enough, we can create value, and that gives us a bit more time on the time clock. Versus for women, they have a fairly finite amount of time to be able to build a family. So for me, I'm focused on hitting a certain financial goal first, so that when I
I'd ask though. I like to ask you, my man Josh. Like, do you think though it would have been easier? And this is where the polygamists kind of has to stand their point on. Like, wouldn't it be easier for all your girls just cooperated in one house? You just, ran them all with all your kids and all that good stuff. Wouldn't that be a whole lot better? I mean, shoot. And women wonder how this can get sold to men so easily. I mean, they make it sound good, but on the back end, it's stressful as hell. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
do have my children, money never becomes a problem again.
But you talk about how women are born with an inherent value.
Yes.
I would differ that men are as well. And what you are doing, so the nuclear family, part of men's value comes from being
true.
loyal and being hardworking. And I feel like when you miss half of that, like what you're doing, you are then degrading in, sorry, not degrading, harming, degrading, thank you, whoever said that, the nuclear family and the idea of this, because you take this very almost shallow and kind of hollow, because every person has issues and the nuclear family is by no means perfect, and you are then kind of showing the issues with it by your own actions and by your own kind of disregard for.
Well, my thing is, I think, again, I teach guys, hey, look, this is what you need to do, right? This is how you become attractive, get your life together. Now, when I arm guys with these tools, what they choose to do it is up to them. If they want to go ahead and have a family immediately, that's fine. If they want to go ahead and play the field, that's fine. But my thing is, I want men to be in a position. The problem is that a lot of guys are in a relationship where their woman controls everything. She's making the decisions. She's bossing him around. There's no leadership there. I want the guy to be in a position where he can kind of dictate the terms. And if he decides, look, I want a family and I want to have a family early, I want him to do that through choice, not through necessity. A lot of guys are monogamous or in a relationship through necessity, not because they want to be. So I just want guys to be able to have that choice. That's the big thing. And then eventually, obviously, work towards a family. But I think the other thing, too, that's important is that men have to understand how modern
All
worlds
right.
work.
Let's get to the Christ is King guy.
It just doesn't
Christ is King in the chat.
serve us to be liberal, and we can see that there. But yeah,
Bring it up just a little bit. Can I bring this up just?
there's a loud minority. What's that, man?
Hey, can I bring this up a little bit? Is that okay? Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you remember me at all?
No.
Okay. So can I ask a quick synopsis of what you think the prescription is for society today for men? In a short version, what do you think they should do to be successful with women?
To be successful with women,
Yeah.
okay, are we talking about like getting a girl for a long-term relationship just to get laid? What are we talking about?
Well, I
here?
think the only reason should be for a long-term relationship and marriage. I mean, that's Jesus Christ founded it. But I'm just curious what your prescription is.
I mean, yeah, but look, everybody can sit here and clap for that, but not all of them practice that. So it is a bit funny how people will clap for it, but they don't practice it themselves. I mean, no, he's right, women. You should just be looking for a man for a long relationship and not just for sex. I mean, guys, you too. And I'll mainly be talking to the college folks out there because they clapping for it, but none of them practice it. Well, I would say at least 95% of them don't practice it.
Well,
not in this
I talked
generation.
about this. I think guys have to have certain things in place, right, before they want to get into a long-term relationship. It's 5 things. So I would say 100K per year, 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in good shape, have at least 50 partners, right? Sexual body count.
Dang. Yeah.
All right. And then is that the last one?
And then there's one more, but that's fine. You could go ahead and
Okay.
engage with what I've said so far.
So
Like 50. I mean, damn. I never counted my bodies. That's crazy. But 50, I mean, if I was to count them, I came out to 50, I'd be a little like shocked, like, hey, yo, what am I doing? I'd have to look at the mind like, damn, what have I been putting my time to?
Reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half. So
Nah.
much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you
Damn, how did it ruin your personal life and relationships? I'm like, please tell me that, because I mean, man, I've kind of been down the same journey you have, my friend, and I wouldn't say it ruined my personal life. I mean, it just kind of just exposed me to how, well, there are different types of women. And you can't hate women when you realize that, when you kind of understand them. You realize that there's different types of women. It's about as easy as that. I mean, you can go through and have all the fun with women in the world and come out, I don't know, unscarred. I'm not sure what happened to him. I damn near wanted to ask. I'm like, bro, you get an STD or something? Because I mean, I've had my fun too, and yeah, I ain't come out with the, oh, you need to turn to Jesus and all this other stuff. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If anything, I honestly, I appreciate the experience, because yeah, I got to learn that there's many types of women. I got to learn the type of personality that I like personally and the ones I don't, and the type of personalities or the habits that I could deal with and the habits that I can deal with. You feel me?
told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did, and it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus.
No, this is actually a good question. I'm gonna be honest with you. If a man can't respect the marriage covenant, then how can women? Especially given that men are the leaders and women are just following the lead. And I get that. But in my argument back is, well, when women start respecting marriage, then men was respected all the same. And now, and I think we all know, who are the main people who are divorcing? Women. Why are they divorcing? Well, irreconcilable differences. So it's usually it's not because the man is just whooping her ass. If that's the case, then I'd be in agreement. So if most divorce happened because a man was whooping their ass, I'd agree. But no, it's because of irreconcilable differences. And you got to understand how that looks to us men. Let me tell you how it looks. If you're, I'm pretty sure you're a godly person. So you're telling me we went in God's church, we went into God's house, said our vows, and then somewhere down the line, we're just going to get divorced as if we did not go under God's house and made vows to each other? You're just going to make me a liar before God? I think not. I think not. So, yeah, like when you girls sit there and you don't want to address the fact that 80% of you guys are dropping marriage, that's the problem. You can't say that men don't respect marriage. No, women don't respect marriage enough to hold it together. Women don't expect marriage enough to not make their husbands looks like beta males, to be quite honest with you, or suckers, or guys who are subservient to their wives. Y'all don't make it look sexy enough for us. I'll be quite honest with you. And don't say that we should just be honor bound by God to just live a subservient life to women. Y'all don't make it look sexy. I'm not saying that that's you, because you probably are a good wife. You probably treat your man really good. But I'm saying that is how most women are doing us out here. And I've never been married. But as a man, if I'm looking at a 80% marriage, like, yo, most of the time she's gonna divorce me. Like, what? And then women don't even talk about this. If anything, they champion it and say, oh yeah, do what's best for you. I mean, what do you expect us men to sit here and tell y'all? Y'all don't respect it. We respect it because we won't engage in it, because we respect it so much as not sit there and let it be, well, scrutinized like this, to let it be defiled of the way it's been defiled. Like, nah, we're not gonna sit here and just let y'all in and walk us into the house of God and lie before God. We ain't doing it.
Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt.
Congratulations, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're
who
saying to
would
me
be?
leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable.
I mean, bro, it kind of seems like, I'm gonna be real with you. He kind of set you on this path to lead you to morality. So So you can't say he set you off the path of morality when the path he set you on, and not really him, but you decided to go out there and have sex with a whole lot of women. So that's why I can never blame nobody else, no other man for my decisions, because I decide what the hell I do. So you decided to go out there and do that, my friend. And it led you to your wife. I mean, hey, congrats. Good job, bro. Like, what you mad about? Like, everybody happy for you but you?
Be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat him? So I think
So a question for you. You said you got out there dating and meeting women and stuff like
Yep.
that. And then you said that it kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you specifically? Did you like just start? What happened
Really?
specifically?
well, I started warring against my own flesh. It's like trying to fill an empty void.
Mhm.
There's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man that can only be filled by God alone. Anything else you try to fill with that's not going to satisfy it.
Sure.
And I tried to do it with sex.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So would it be fair? How'd you meet your wife?
We actually had the #1 dating podcast in North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast.
Okay.
And I'm also friends with Fresh. I know him very well. I texted him before I came here.
Yeah.
And I know pretty much everyone
See?
on your crew. But
And see, guys, look, I get it. You're trying to simp for the girls, right? I would know. I'm not even gonna say simp. I would say you're trying to stick up for the girls right now, but you can't refute the fact that yes, mostly women end divorces. This is not about me trying to shift blame to women. This is me understanding what is going on. Like, yeah, you can't sit there and tell me that I should just rush into marriage, and women can't sit there really tell me that, mug, if they're the ones ending it. Like, if a woman tells me, hey, yo, oh yeah, you should get married, I'm going like, why the hell would I do that? You the one that's ending it. Y'all the one that be ending them, and then y'all be, well, low-key getting the cash out of us. Why would we do that? Like, really think about what you're asking of us. Really think about the product that you're presenting here, because you got to sell it to us. You got to make it look sexy here. That's all I'm saying. Make marriage look good again, okay? Make marriage great again.
I was a heavy follower, and you actually inspired me to start the podcast. And I realized what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that when you went through that experience, you were able to identify characteristics that you probably found as unredeemable and you probably wouldn't want to commit to, right?
In what way?
Well, when you were seeing these women, right, you probably started seeing patterns in how they behave, how they speak, or whatever. Maybe they're not qualified to be a wife.
Correction. 69%, which is still overwhelming amount. Still. Like, so you tell me out of 10 marriages, only 3 gonna work out? Yeah, I don't know. I gotta have some years in the game with old girl if that's going down. I mean, I gotta have some years in the game. And then still, I don't trust the government, so I probably wouldn't engage with it on that aspect alone. Unless old girl can agree to being married through the church only, with no legal binds on it, with no government punishment if anything goes wrong. Why not? I'm all for it.
Because the thing is, right?
Well,
Whenever-
I don't need that. I have the Bible for that. It tells me what to look for.
Yeah, but the thing is that you were able, and again, you're probably not going to notice it, but when you dated and dealt with all these women, you probably were able to identify characteristics that you were not fond of, or characteristics that would make a woman not a good candidate for a long-term relationship. And I think half the game is figuring out which girls don't qualify for marriage versus which ones that do. And clearly, you learned a skill set on how to become attractive and get women, and then you're able to identify the things that you like versus the things that you don't like. And that only comes a lot of times with experience. Now, look, if a guy can go ahead and, find a woman as a virgin and be attractive and be able to understand.
No, marriage. Look, the idea of marriage is not bad. Like, picking somebody to be with for the rest of your life and making a family just sounds like the most beautiful thing you could do in your life. It's just what marriage has been turned into is bad. Like, the idea of marriage, I mean, bro, that's what all of us guys dreamed about when we were kids. That's all we would talk about is, hey, yo, yeah, I can't wait to get my wife and kids. As kids, this is what we wanted to do. And it still ain't changed. It's just as we grow up, I guess certain dreams get shattered, and that's kind of what we've been presented with in the world. Like, you got to grow up to the real world. It's not about us thinking that marriage is bad. The idea of marriage is a beautiful thing. It's just, look what we get. The idea of marriage that I guess was once established is not what we're getting today. And we got to be honest with ourselves and admit that.
And how to navigate that, that's great in modern times. But the reality is a lot of guys don't. And I mean, even in your success story, you had to go through a lot of bad women to be able to identify your current wife as the one. So failures are good. They're good.
No, it's an
Yeah,
idea.
failures, excuse me, failures in the sense of socioeconomic or maybe even relationship failures could be good. But there's a difference with what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're warned against our soul. Jesus Christ commands us to marry one woman. That's it. And
Sure.
what you were causing me to do was sin against myself. And that's the point I'm trying to get to. It's immoral
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's
you got to
wrong.
take personal responsibility, bro. Because here's the
No,
reality.
I do,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, how are you taking personal responsibility, bro, if you are saying that, oh, you led me down this path, you led me to deal with all these hoes and stuff, and now all of a sudden I ended out to my woman. I'm like, bro, hold on. You're kind of missing the thing here. So you can't sit here and blame this man for sending you on this path, but then only credit yourself for finding a wife. Because if that's the case, to make perfect sense here, may be logical about it. If he set you on this path and the path ended out with you turning to God and, getting your wife, then you should be thanking the man, to be quite honest with you. Because now you got out the way, you learned discernment among women, and you found you a great wife and Jesus at the same damn time. Ain't that good?
so
Very publicly, I
and
have in front of over
that's why
40,000 people. I've
yeah,
done that.
yeah, great. But the point I'm trying to make is I teach guys a skill set, right? If I give you a gun and you shoot yourself in the foot, is that my fault? If I taught you how to properly use it, how to disarm it, disassemble it, how to load the magazine in properly, all that. If I give you the skill set, then you shoot yourself in the foot, right? Is that really my fault? No, I just arm you with the skill set. Then you choose what you want to do with it. Now, obviously,
Well,
you
no,
wanted to
it's
go on
predatory.
you wanted to
because men
go
are
toward
hurting.
an sex escapade, which is, I guess, fine. But the reality is, I armed you with the tools to become an attractive guy, and you utilize that. You can't come back and get mad
No,
and
you
say,
didn't arm me
"Oh,
with that. I became attractive when I followed Jesus. That was it.
oh, okay." Now
That's
it's changing the story.
No, I'm not changing any story. It's one thing to be attractive in the sense of gaining sexual partners, but it's a completely different thing to be attractive to someone that wants to marry you and spend their life with you and have kids with you. Those are two completely different sexual attractions. If I walk in here looking like Thor, I'm 6'2" and shredded. Obviously, I'm going to be attractive to women, but it doesn't mean that that's a relationship that produces value for me and my family.
And
I
again,
know, right? And you use your powers for evil. I mean, then you use it for good. Hey, bro, we're in the same corner. I mean, shoot, it get like that. I mean, you went down there and you did it, and now you didn't satisfy yourself to where you don't even feel like you need to do that no more. You found yourself a wife. I mean, like I said, it's a bit weird how he's not kind of seeing the correlation here, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad he found God at least.
again, everyone is different, right? For you, it took some time, and you found God, and you shifted. But the reality is, I gave you the skill set, and then you choose what you want to do. That's up to you, and you made that decision, not me. I
No,
just
no,
taught you what to do,
exactly.
how to do it.
It's on me 100%. I'm not placing
Okay.
blame on you, but what I'm telling you from someone
And
that
here's
listens
the other
to you,
thing
I'm
too
trying
that
to
you
let
got
you
to
know what
understand.
happens when you speak to people and tell them to do these things.
Here's the other thing too. Like, now you're operating with 2020 hindsight. You went through it, you experienced
Correct.
it, you
That's
know.
true.
A lot of guys need to get their hand burned sometimes to figure out how things work, because let's be
Why?
honest, men are very stubborn.
Why do they
So-
need to do that? If they find a God-fearing woman, they wouldn't do half the stuff you're talking about.
Well, they got it. Here's the thing.
I mean, dog, hold on now. You ever been? I mean, bro, you're being a bit too naive about what really goes down in these churches, my friend. Like, really? Pastors sleeping with women? Pastors sleeping with other dudes' wives? Wives going out with the pastor or other members in the church? Yeah, let's not pretend that don't go down, my friend. So we're not just gonna sit here and pretend like, oh, you turn to Christ and everything just a fortitude of like godliness. It's like, oh, nothing wrong will ever happen. It's like, nah. I mean, if you find the right woman, it may be less likely to happen, but we're not going to sit here and pretend like all you need to do is have a Bible and be in church and you're going to find yourself a godly woman. Be quite honest with you, some of these women in these churches are the furthest thing from godly, outside the church.
Finding a God-fearing woman in today's day and age is a lot harder said than done, right? So
I did it,
yeah, it's a lot harder.
and so did everyone in my whole family. So it's not that hard.
Yeah, that's anecdotal.
And before y'all get mad at me, we do understand that the church is not the people within the church. So we can't separate the church, which is God's house, from the people in the church, which is low-key disrespecting God's house right now. And it's also disrespectful that, like I said, and I will stand on this point, that women want men to go into the house of God, make vows, for them to break those vows, which makes us both look like liars in God's house. And I swear to God, you lie to me in my house, I'm gonna F you up. I ain't gonna lie. So I can only imagine how God feels about that. Like, let's be quite real here. It's like, come on now, would you really like anybody who vowed to you under under your house? Like, I'm just saying here, hey, don't make me a liar before God. I'll just leave the whole thing alone. But that's my point there.
From your perspective. But again, you learned the skill set. You were able to find a wife, and I'm happy about that. But you got to take a little bit of accountability here and understand that you basically got a loaded gun and shot yourself in the foot. And you're trying to blame me for it.
No, I'm not blaming you. Like I said, I take accountability.
Yeah.
There's a big difference there.
Okay.
But look, nothing against you. Like I said, I've hung out with Fresh 8 or 9 times recently. I love them, and I think your heart is in the right place. But I just wanted to give you from someone that actually listened to what you were saying to do, read your book, and it didn't work. That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah, it did. It did work. You got exactly what you wanted. It's just Jesus got added to it. Thank God. But I'm just saying though, you got what you wanted. You like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you ask him, I'm saying, what you're gonna say? Do you wish you didn't have sex with all those girls? You're gonna say, yeah, do you want to take it back? I doubt that part. Because I'm pretty sure you learned some crucial lessons while dealing with those ain't shit women. Like we all do. Like we all do. And I mean, bro, if his like book and his advice led you down that path to mess with hella women, then find God in a wife. I mean, shit. Trust me, I think most guys would want your results, my friend. I think most guys would want those results. I mean, hold on. You tell me you got to sleep with hella women and you found a wife at the end? Shit, sign me up. Sign me up. All right.
Well, actually, it did. You didn't notice it yet.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to identify your wife and have been able to find her and figure out what characteristics you like and don't like, right? Unless you went through that.
My wisdom came from the Bible, not you, but I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to. Hold on, bro. Now I've read the Bible, and I don't think Jesus ever had anywhere, or any of the prophets, or any of the guys like my man, like Luke, Mark, and them. None of them ever really had a section on how to spit game to a young lady, or did I forget, or did I miss that part? Last time I checked, I ain't never read about Jesus pulling up on some hoes, okay, or pulling up on some women. Now, I don't know about that. I'm kind of, I damn near want to ask. I'm like, damn, what game they got in the Bible? And don't just tell me to be a godly man, because that ain't it. What game do they got in the Bible, G? Because I'm pretty sure you got that game from the hella women that you gamed up and messed with. Come on now. Don't play stupid. It's okay. Bro, it's okay to admit that, bro. Myron's advice was low-key solid. It helped you get a lot of women that you now found a wife in God. Like, bro, it's like nobody's mad at this